Hello everyone. It's been a while since the Resection remix based on Android Oreo is released for most of the devices. I got some suggestions to review the same. So in this video, let's review the Resection remix and without wasting much time, let's get started.
First, let's talk about the quick settings bar. The quick settings bar is not changed a lot from the previous version. It is a simple layout, but the thing is that this is highly customizable. We have provided the Google Assistant settings by default and it's dope. As I mentioned before, this is highly customizable. For example, if we click the pencil icon, they have provided a lot of tiles and they are very interactive. For example, if we click and drag the configurations icon, we can directly enter the configuration settings from here. The next feature which definitely deserves a mentioning is the inbuilt screen recorder and the expanded desktop feature which lags in most of the custom ROMs. Now, it's the time to talk about the app drawer and the multitasking panel. We have a regular app drawer similar to the one present in the other custom ROMs, and in my opinion, the size of the icon has increased a bit, but they are very responsive. The app opening is smooth, and for some weird reasons, if I open some apps, at times I get only a blank screen and not the app interface itself. This must be fixed in the future updates. Speaking about the multitasking panel is similar to the one present in other custom ROMs as well, and the RAM management is good. Now, let's enter into the real game, the customizations. The customizations are available under the configuration settings. Before talking about the customizations, I would like to talk about the layout of this customization panel. We can toggle between the classic, navigation layout and the tabs layout. It is based on the user's likings. Now, let's talk about the status bar. Similar to the customizations available in the other ROMs, we have the options to change the type of the battery indicator and also the icons that must be shown in the status bar. In addition to that, we can add the Resurrection logo to the status bar and make it display all the time. Next, we can add some custom logos as well. Then we have some useful settings like double tap to sleep and using the status bar as the brightness slider. As said before, we can customize the icons that must be displayed on the status bar with the help of the system UI tuner option. Now, let's move to the panel settings. With these settings, we can tweak the layout and appearance of the panels. For example, if we click the power menu option, we have the facility to change the opacity of the menu layout and the amount the background must dim when they are pressed. Now, it's the time to talk about the quick settings panel. Here, we are provided with a variety of functionalities such as the quick pull down feature and also the usual facility to change the number of rows and columns both in portrait and landscape. Under the advanced section, we can add a custom tile to the quick settings panel. As always, add a vibrating feedback to the touches made. With these settings, we can change the opacity of the quick settings panel and also add an animation to it. Now, it's the time to talk about the interface sections. Under the interface sections, we have a lot of features like the one used to tweak the working of fingerprint scanner. When we click it, the vibrations on authentications can be changed and also we can enable the features that requires our fingerprint on waking up while rebooting the system. Next, we can change the blur personalizations as well. For example, we can add a blurring effect on the status bar. Next, we can change the display size, and I don't know who is gonna use this option, but for some weird reasons, we may use it. Now, it's the time to talk about the lock UI. With this, we can customize the layout of the lock UI. For example, we can enable or disable the clock widget in the clock UI. It's based on the user's likings. We can also change the number of notifications to be shown and add an ambient music tracker to the UI. Next, let's move on to the buttons. The buttons are similar to the ones present in the other custom ROMs. For instance, we can change the brightness of the slider and add functionalities to the hardware keys. We can long press the power button for turning on the torch. By default, if we double press the power button, the camera is opened. With these settings, we can add different functionalities as well. At times, we may end up touching the buttons while using the touchscreen, so we may disable the accidental touches as well. Now, it's the time to talk about the navigations. If we enable the navigations panel, we get the same panel as in other ROMs, but this is highly customizable. For example, we can change the size of the navigation button icons and the height as well. Next, if needed, we can invert the button layout. Next, we can change the navigation mode as well. For example, if we set it to Fling, a navigation panel native to the Resurrection remix, it performs the functionality similar to the Android Pie. Next, we can change the different actions in the navigation panel also. Finally, let's talk about the animations and gestures. In gesture panel, we have an option called a pie. If we enable that, we have a virtual navigation panel and it can be used by sliding from right to left. Next, we have the option called App Circle Bar, with which we can use the display like a edge display present in the Galaxy phones. That is, we have a small app drawer like the ones present in edge displays. To talk about the animations, we have the animations for opening apps, closing apps, and even for entering the multitasking panel. We can change the animations for entering the sleep mode as well. Most importantly, we can change the transition effects for the tabs too. Now, it's the time to talk about the RAM management. Have a close eye on this video. I'll tell my observations towards the end. As seen here, the apps did not reload much. They have optimized the RAM management and the RAM is not offloading the apps much. But in my opinion, this has to be improved more. Now let's move to the camera. These are some of the camera samples taken using the stock camera that comes with the ROM itself. The camera performance is decent. The color reproduction and the exposure is a bit high than it should be. Other than this, we get a decent performance.
So that's it for the video, guys. What do you think about these customizations? Are they really customizable and are they really useful? Leave them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. And this is Mukiran from Tech Temptation signing off. See you guys in the next video. Bye.